Remember the PS2? Of course you do, you're not a fucking idiot. The PS2 is that badass cool kid console, objectively speaking. This thing right here is the follow-up to my childhood console, and boy, did it redefine the term successor. Shit, you had one of these and Jennifer was sure to let you take her out on that date. She said no anyways. The PlayStation 2 gave us some of the best titles in video game history, most being unmatched today. It's always fun to look back and see all the old E3 trailers for all those games. For the sequel console that was supposed to follow in the wake of the machine that proved you didn't have to be Nintendo, Sony played it smart. Triple the PlayStation 1's power, keep the DualShock controller, and future-proof the whole dang thing by slapping a DVD player right into it. Bam. Pack it, sell it. Holy shit, this thing can play The Mummy and Harry Potter? Pinch me, I'm in a world of pure imagination. This thing sold the most units of, like, any game console ever. Look, I googled it for you, even though you're probably going to do it yourself anyways. Your little cousin had one, your mom had one, your fucking dog probably just got one at the flea market for fuck's sake. The PS2 held some of the most popular and influential games, and was probably solely responsible for the introduction of the modern Grand Theft Auto series as we know it. If you're somehow unaware of GTA and are accidentally watching this because your dementia led you to the library computer at your retirement home, then let me put it as plainly as possible. GTA pioneered the modern free roam video game. If it was done before GTA 3, then it simply wasn't done correctly. Of course, while the 6th generation GTA games were all eventually ported to Xbox and Windows sometime later, they all found their first homes on the PS2. GTA 3 brought this formerly top-down series to the third dimension and basically opened up the genre and gameplay to the public eye. The public eye, of course, is collectively one giant soccer mom, so they hated it because, I don't know, something about violence and sex and other buzzwords which ultimately don't actually affect gamers in any meaningful way. GTA became wildly popular, like profoundly popular. An icon, a staple of modern video games, spawning numerous sequels and spin-offs, most notably its 2 PS2 follow-ups, Vice City and San Andreas, the latter of which has come to be my favorite of that trio. So today, we're gonna cruise and shoot our way through Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like most games I enjoy, I've spent just a ludicrous amount of hours in this game. I first played it when I was young, and I shit you not, all I ever did was spawn the tank, spawn jetpacks, spawn cars, spawn weapons, and all I ever did was just blow shit the fuck up. That's all I ever spent my time doing. My favorite thing ever was this. Are you ready? No, I'm like serious, this is foreshadowing for who I grew up to be. I flew myself way up to the highest building and I just jumped off. That's all. Why? Because CJ is fucking hilarious. I would jump off the top of the tower and he would just scream or say something like he was just experiencing a minor inconvenience. Shit, damn! It was the best thing ever. I would laugh for so long and so loud that my mother literally had to take the game away from me. I was so pissed. But guess what? I'm an adult now, Mom. And I still have my old copy. And I still do this shit. Watch this, I'm gonna do it again. Ah! It wasn't until I was older until I really realized the scale and depth of this game. I mean, like, wow. I was almost afraid to even talk about the game because tackling a giant like this is a trial in and of itself, but I really felt like this game needed to be brought back to light. The world of San Andreas is simply fucking incredible. Yeah, I say that about a lot of things, but it's always true, so allow me to elaborate. Modeled after real-life California, San Andreas is impressively giant for a console like the PS2. It's divided up into a bunch of counties and cities: Los Santos, San Fierro, Las Venturas, and the countryside. Each area is pretty big and is unlocked progressively as the game goes on. The cities themselves are intricate and detailed. Well, as much as they can be. And the world really does feel alive at times. Rockstar really nailed the atmosphere of 1990s Los Angeles. Not that I was there or anything, but it certainly feels like its own authentic world. Oh fuck. You know what? I'm too excited. I've been waiting forever for this. Let's just start. One of the things I love most about this game and the GTA universe, even in the modern entries, is the weird duality between how immersive it is and how much it feels like a video game. Let me explain this the best I can. At its heart, San Andreas is very arcadey and video gamey and rooty-tooty point-and-shooty. shoot here, go there, etc, etc. Standard video game fare, but one thing that I think people tend to miss is the brilliance and grace behind the programming and design of this game. The story that unfolds really feels deep and well written, often to the point of it being shocking. Overall, it's impressive to say the least. The missions actually hold bearing on the story, and it does feel like your actions have an effect not only on your character, but the rest of the characters as well. At the same time, having control over the character gives you complete freedom. The game generally doesn't care how you get from point A to point B, which means you can complete objectives in the most ridiculous, stupid ways possible. So, while you can really get immersed in the world, it very much takes place in a video game engine. And it shows! Such is the life of the open-world PS2 game. We also have tons of side stuff to do, like tagging, looting, and even overtaking territories, which matters for like 5 seconds, I guess. The game feels full. It has a level of content you'd probably find in an RPG, and it blends with all the other elements of the game so well and so intuitively that sometimes it almost goes unnoticed entirely. I don't have to tell you this though, you already know how much of a hard-on I have for great game design. Who doesn't? What makes San Andreas stand out though is its type of control. Fittingly, combat in this game is pretty freeform. My only gripe, I guess, is that they hadn't yet implemented a cover system, and after playing GTA 5 for hours on end, it becomes very apparent how important it is. However, it's still really fun to get into shootouts and defend yourself. That's because it's challenging. Not hard or ridiculous, but challenging. You can go about most missions in really any way you want, as long as you get the job done. You can use any weapons you have at your disposal, or shit, fuck guns. Run those bitches over. Take that, you fuckholes. Oh, and like here, I'm supposed to beat him up, but I got the shotgun early, so... But really, weapons actually matter in this game. Assault rifles, handguns, knives, which you can use to Michael Myers the fuck out of people, all of them have different properties and actually require that you take the time to really decide which ones you should use in any given situation. Gunplay, obviously, is a huge factor in the world of Grand Theft Auto, so fighting and shooting other people is as well. To tell the truth, the AI is still very... 2004. Nonetheless, I still find it engaging and interesting. That brings us to the other huge part of San Andreas, driving. I mean huge, by the way. Once again, for a game not exactly centered around driving that has people that look like this, the driving physics are actually really solid. The cars have weight, can drift, have different specs, but all without feeling too simulation-based. Overall, they're video gamey, but I would say they're just the right amount without being ridiculous. You can even customize them with colors and parts. You can even give them some sick-ass hydraulics. It's actually a little sad to see such an advanced driving system be more or less bottlenecked by the world around it. Rolling around with pretty dynamic suspension but with blocky geometry is kinda like letting a 2-year-old draw the background for the Mona Lisa. Regardless, it's yet another key staple of the game. Especially considering how fun and seamless the transition is from just running around to jacking some dude's car, then driving on the sidewalk, then getting bored and trying to drive with traffic. This is GTA though, so obviously there aren't just cars. Throughout the game, we get a wide array of vehicles to get across the land, such as jets, helicopters, planes, tanks, jetpacks, ATVs, holy fucking... And also, we didn't see a lot of these in GTA 4, by the way. Even the expansions barely gave us anything. Most of this shit was gone during the 7th generation of consoles until GTA 5, where we got all of this back. San Andreas was basically the pinnacle of vehicles in the series for 9 years. Speaking of driving, this is where the music comes in. San Andreas has a few original jingles here and there, but its soundtrack consists of real-world tracks in the form of in-game radio stations. The best thing about this means that we get to hear some of the greatest West Coast hits of the 90s, spanning multiple genres and artists like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, David Bowie, Depeche Mode, Stone Temple Pilots, N.w.a, Dr. Dre, and more. After traversing the internet, I was happy to find that I share one of the most familiar memories of this game with many. That fantastic feeling of cruising through Los Santos to the tune of Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day." I believe this whole game can really be summed up with just that one moment, even after all the plot and missions throughout the game. And that's saying something considering I'm more of a KDST man myself. Besides the music, the radio is also entirely its own form of entertainment, complete with satirical radio shows.
If the police can't stop you, you must be on the dust.
Parodies of radio commercials,
Soothe kills a cough fast. And for the kid's chesty cough, it's Soothe Junior, the medication that comes in a fun, animal-shaped container kids will love.
Hey, look at me. I'm binging on medication just like Dad. Ugh.
Oh my God, he's barely breathing.
No, that's just the medicine doing its magic.
And all that shit that really inspires, well, the shit that you're watching right now. Thank God for self-deprecating humor. I hate myself. Speaking of the missions, I really like how GTA handles them. Alongside progressing the plot, playing through the game puts you in a lot of incredibly interesting and unique scenarios. While some sort of do just boil down to driving around, you really can be doing anything from shooting an AK out of the back of a vehicle in an epic chase, or even chasing a train on a bike to kill some rival gang members. Fuck you, Big Smoke. My favorite line actually comes from that one drive-thru mission.
My soda, it's all over the fucking floor.
The way GTA handles traditional game mechanics is again brilliant and unique. Obviously, there aren't any lives or anything. If you fail a mission, you have to start all over again. That's because the main incentive to do anything in San Andreas is progression. It's annoying to fail, whether it be because you got wasted or busted. It means that 1, you were defeated by 2004 era AI, and 2, you just lost all your weapons and $100. For this type of game, it just makes sense. It's a weirdly intuitive system. It doesn't really feel like I get cheated or that the game did something radically unfair. It sits right in the area of what I'd expect to happen when I die in this game. Progress in San Andreas means better guns, more story, and interestingly, one step closer to widening your boundaries. Remember all those years ago when I said San Andreas' world was unlocked progressively? Each area is pretty big and is unlocked progressively as the game. Well, this is that thing. As you go through the missions and story, the world opens up and becomes bigger. The world of San Andreas, much like any GTA, is one built mainly as a parody of real life. Everything from the radio commercials to the civilian dialogue to even names of restaurants, which have all been concocted by Rockstar to be clever or not really even clever satire of their actual counterparts. A lot of the dialogue in the story is reflective of this, as our story is mainly based on the real-ass events of the late 90s LA riots. What entails from this is a tale full of corrupt cops, country stoners, and just a gratuitous amount of gang violence. Oh my goodness, is that Samuel L. Jackson? Now that's fancy. Our story takes place throughout the entire state of San Andreas, and we begin with CJ. CJ is a guy who we presume left to Liberty City a long time ago to leave behind a life of crime and gangs. We know this because every chance they get, his friends remind him just how much he abandoned.
That's another funeral you ran away from, fool. You just a liability, CJ. Why you bother coming back? Move it, CJ. You embarrassing us, nigga. Same old CJ. Buster. Straight Buster. Look who's here. It's Running Man. Your word don't mean shit around here. Man, are you a buster? Shut up, Carl. You buster, Carl? Man, I give up the water if you give up being a buster. Buster? Sound like the buster complaining again.
He comes back to Los Santos, his hometown, after he discovers that his mom had been killed by unknown assailants, likely a rival gang. Thus cues that unforgettable line.
Grove Street. Home. At least it was before I fucked everything up.
And so begins a whirlwind of deep shit. As our friend Carl stumbles further and further into the rabbit hole, we uncover numerous revelations, meet strange new accomplices, and damn near overturn the police state that is San Andreas. This game can get fucking intense. By the way, let me talk about the sick customization and all the other side shit you can do. Right off the bat, we're allowed to get a haircut and change our clothes to represent our hood, Grove Street. Now, I'd usually go for the Fresh Prince, but it's gotta be the George Jefferson. While I'm at it, let's get the worst way to wear a button-down ever in some new jeans. Oh yeah, I'm repping hard as fuck. Is there really such a thing as too much freedom? More importantly, however, we can actually work out and make ourselves buff as shit for no reason. In fact, some missions are barred from CJ if he gets too fat, so why not?
Don't need money, don't take fame.
And now you can viciously beat the shit out of everyone. My favorite area in the whole game is the countryside. We don't spend a giant amount of time here, but what I can tell you is that it can be totally ridiculous trying to get around. Much like the real countryside, there are small towns few and far between, each filled with a bunch of rednecks and gas stations. It really does end up feeling like a completely separate part from Los Santos, and there are times that I almost completely forgot about the cities as I lost myself through the incredibly deep, dense forests and mountains. Quite honestly, I must have spent hours just driving and getting lost in the wilderness. San Andreas, while graphically primitive on the surface, manages to create a very gripping type of atmosphere at times. Whether it's cruising through the hood to the god-tier music selection of Radio Los Santos or traveling through the woods with Radio X. It's so oddly soothing in a way, and it very unintentionally allows you to break up the action whenever you want and really get to know the world. I also love the desert as well, and traversing it is nearly as desolate as the forests. Something about all that free space just really feels nice to dive into. I could just rub all that sand right onto my skin and feel it go over my pores. Oh, that's some nice sand. The world itself wouldn't have nearly as much personality as it does had it not been for all the colorful characters that you end up interacting with throughout the game. I debated on having that sentence in this episode's script specifically because I know that that can be interpreted as... So as I said numerous times, San Andreas, much like every other game in the GTA series, lasts forever. You definitely got your money's worth. It comes as no surprise that such a plot-driven open-world game comes packed with just a huge amount of characters. Anywhere from your Grove Street gang with Ryder and Sweet...
Fuck you, Sweet!
...to hilarious hippie stoner, The Truth...
Whoa, man. I never thought I'd see that. A Fed out smoking me, huh?
...to rival gang member Caesar, who's actually the super cool dude dating your sister.
Hey, get your dirty hands off my sister!
Shut the fuck up, CJ. Fucking... All the characters have pretty real, authentic dialogue, which I have to applaud Rockstar for. By the way, they kept the same methodology in GTA 5 when they returned to San Andreas, and took it a step further by pulling in actual life true gang members to record dialogue and give input on correct usages. We also have our main antagonists, the police. Man, just look how far we've come. Crash, which is basically the not real Homeland Security, is led by Officer Tenpenny, who basically runs the police under blackmail, bribes, and general dickery.
You watch your tone, boy. Now listen, I've got a message from Officer Tenpenny. Don't try and leave town. That would be a big mistake. You hear me? We're watching you.
Whatever you say, bitch.
It all comes together to form a truly awesomely unique experience of a living, breathing world, however dated it may seem. It always manages to immerse me right back in. San Andreas is just straight up a feel-good experience. Incredibly satisfying to jump into and play, it really is one of the defining games of the 6th generation as well as its home console. It's not hard to see why it's one of my favorite games and why I appreciate it so much. It's a certain unique feeling that only a GTA game can deliver, and I really think that it's worth a try today. I mean, there's shit I didn't even get to mention that's totally part of the reasons to own it, like being able to learn karate, or that the game brings up the issue of racism or police brutality, or how these hard gangsters do not mind this just obscene outfit. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's aged well. It's very clear that it's been quite some time and the GTA series has made some serious strides in the time since its release, but it's always nice to see where the foundation was laid out. Going back to look at all the models, textures, the old top right HUD which has become iconic in itself, and all the blockiness of the gameplay and style, it's all actually quite beautiful in its own way. A way that is actually only present now that it's older. In my heart, even though I'm just a pale Puerto Rican, Grove Street is always gonna be my second home.
How they drive on the East Coast, homie?